I wanted to make this post because this is the religion that I follow. I follow the very oldest form of Hinduism. And somebody asked if it was a closed practice. They thought it was a closed practice. Nothing in Hinduism is closed. Being Hindu is closed. If you're not born into a Hindu community, then you are not Hindu. So you can't claim to be Hindu. You can follow Hinduism, as I do, but you're not a Hindu. And the reason I know this is because I converted to Hinduism about a decade ago through my Punjabi friends. So, just to clear it up, it's not closed. You don't have to be initiated. But being born outside of that, will never be a Hindu. And the next post will be because so many people ask me about what I follow. So, yeah. Okay, so y'all been asking me to talk about Hinduism because that's the religion I choose to follow. But I had to be careful how I put this together so it wasn't confusing. So I don't know how many parts this is going to be. Alright, but first of all, I follow the oldest, most rudimentary form of Hinduism. And it's the one that was a culmination of the Indo-Aryan civilization. And when I say Aryan, I'm not talking about Aryan, okay? I'll provide links for this whenever I get done with this series. The reason I chose Hinduism over all the other things that I researched, which was every religion, is because what I already believed in regards to science and how the spirit realm works was there already. Okay, so if you're researching Hinduism and you come across anything that mentions the caste system, you haven't went back far enough. There are so many different sects it's broken off into sects just like Christianity. Some believe that these many gods are actual real gods. Some of them believe they actually sit in the statue. I mean, there's just as many woohoo sections as there are, with Christianity. So I wasn't okay with all that. So I went back until I found the root version. And this root Hinduism is based on respect. But not the kind of respect that Americans are thinking. As in, you don't kill the wasp in your house. Not because it has little wasp feelings, but because you respect the fact that it exists and has a purpose. Okay, so you don't cut down the freaking 100-year-old tree, you build around it. Because there's a reason it's there. You respect that it exists. And that applies for everything in the natural world. And among other things, one of the many reasons that I chose this is because that's a challenge for me. And I still work on it today. It's a challenge. It makes me think before I do things. The next question you get the most is, all the millions of gods, what is that? How can that possibly be real? And the reason people think that is because it's a huge misunderstanding. As I said in my previous post explaining what God is, it's not a being that peruses over everybody. It's a force. Honestly, it's closer to the force in Star Wars, really. But the same thing applies in Hinduism. It's known as the Brahman. Not Brahma, Brahman. And that's important because now I'm going to explain to you why there's 811 gods. Okay, so when it's time to tell stories, to teach lessons, or teach about the past in Hinduism, they personify Brahman, and they personify attributes of Brahman. Okay? So Brahman is then personified into the god Brahma. He has two counterparts. That's Vishnu and Shiva. They are not separate individuals. None of these billions of gods are separate individuals. They are, think of them as character traits. For instance, Ganesh, the elephant guy, is good luck and fortune. Or Saraswati is arts and academics. So while my kid was in school, I kept a Saraswati idol in her room. So they're not all separate. So when I began to start my practice, I chose to follow this guy, Lord Shiva. He is the destroyer. And the reason I chose him is because there are lots of bad habits that I needed to destroy. I still have a couple left, but I had really bad ones, period. Just physical habits, the way I thought, the way I acted, and so I chose Shiva. But being that I follow the most basic type of Hinduism, it's not the same as Shivaism. Shivaism is a whole nother sect that I was telling you about. So I focus any of my work on Lord Shiva, which is, you know, just a breakdown of Brahma. And that's the basic way that it works. And now I'm gonna do a video of resources. So if you want to learn the history of it, you can go here. This is a really, really good book. This is just an excerpt of that book. If you put Indus Aryan Hinduism, this link comes up too. It's good. If you go to the Khan Academy and go to this one, the core ideas, that one breaks it down pretty simple for non-Hindus. And as for the different gods, you can just, Google, Hindu gods and what they represent. There's a bazillion sites out there. Oh, and bonus, I can't do that without explaining why India loves cows. So I'm going to explain this in a parallel to Christianity's, because I think that'll be easier for most of y'all to understand. So the cow plays an important role in Indian mythology. So think of it like this. Okay, so most people know the story about Jesus feeding like fucking thousands of people with 2 fish and like a couple of loaves of bread. Okay, so pretend like in the Bible they specified that it was a rainbow trout. So the rainbow trout would be considered holy, and you wouldn't eat the rainbow trout. That's the same concept with Hindus and the cow, and that's why they revere the cow. I hope that helps explain it.